Back from the dead.
Hi guys, FailcoPunch here. I wanted to finally start this How to Gigantic series since it's very close to the game's release. Although I kind of went along the same guidelines as the guides you can find on gogigantic.com, I have filled these with my own opinions and what I find work best in the game. I'm breaking it up into a few videos. The basics, goals of the game, hero roles, guardians, creatures and placements, upgrading and skills, flash, power race, minimap and maps, mechanics and systems, and team comp, and how it matters. This video will be talking about the basics, what Gigantic is all about, and how the game works. The game is a team game that pits 5 players versus 5 players, and each team has their own giant monster, called a guardian. The objective of the game is to slay the other team's guardian, and each guardian has 3 giant bars of health, kind of like a raid boss. Each side of the map is identical for each team, but often there's a neutral point on the map, sometimes 2, where each team can summon a creature. Creatures spawned on these points will guard and pick up yellow orbs known as power orbs that will add to each team's guardian power. When the power count reaches 100, that team's guardian will rampage, flying across the map, sending out devastating attacks, and eventually pinning down the enemy guardian. If your team got the push, it's essential to follow your guardian across the map, following the arrows on the ground until you come to the enemy guardian. The attacking guardian will only do a portion of the enemy guardian's health, indicated by the UI. Sometimes it'll do the entire health bar. Usually you can see that too. That's called an auto wound. The more power a guardian has before the push, the more shield it has, making it harder to hurt. If your team has the push, attack the enemy guardian while it's down and deal enough damage to wound it, taking away one of its health bars. Power works like this. The goal is to get 100 power for your team. Killing enemy players gives you 10 power. Power orbs give you 20 power, so that's why summoning creatures is important. Adult creatures pick up orbs faster than baby ones do, so upgrading is important to win strategic power orb races on the map, like midpoints for example. Killing an enemy baby creature gives you 10 power, and killing an enemy adult creature gives you 20 power, so sometimes it's really worth it to take them out of the picture. Going for wounds is often risky. If you're the ones defending your guardian from being wounded, you can kill the enemy team, interrupt their power orbs from being collected, and kill the creatures before the wound to reach 100 shield. If you have 100 shield as a defender, your guardian will take less initial damage from the enemy guardian and give your team a greater chance of stopping the enemy from taking the wound. You can kill enemies during the wound in order to grant more shield to your guardian, and it's very important to do this. Keep in mind that the enemy can kill you as they're attacking your guardian, which will give them more time that they can spend attacking the wound if they kill you. You can summon special creatures on midpoints, called obelisks, and even on enemy points. This creates pressure and can even enable you to grab the free power for your team. Be careful though, people will try and stop you, and you don't want to die over it. More like use it as bait. Guardians do a metric ton of damage. They have a beam attack and a huge close range attack that can kill you in a matter of seconds. Refrain from chasing kills under the guardian unless you know you can escape. Otherwise, the enemy guardian will annihilate you, and it'll be kind of funny. Oh, one more thing. Let's not forget the clash. Basically, the clash is Gigantic's endgame mode. The maps become even more small and arena-like, and points actually shift and teleport to new locations, making creatures on those points invulnerable for a few seconds as they transport. The goal of the clash is to be the final arena. Players are forced to face each other in closer combat. Maps like Sanctum Falls and Siren Strand change dramatically in Clash, with ice walls pushing parts of the map into obscurity and water rising to fill up all the space that isn't Clash. Be careful and make sure you proceed to where the Clash area is. Follow the arrows or environmental effects to the new area. The tide can turn in Clash, and if you found yourself losing the game before, the new area might prove to be more successful here than during the beginning parts of the game. If you wipe out an enemy team, they receive a long respawn timer, and you can always use that to your advantage, killing one of their creatures or putting a summon somewhere that helps your team. Those are pretty much the basics of what the game is all about. Killing enemies, creatures, and of course the enemy guardian. Remember that the game isn't just about kills, and it's more about getting those guardian wounds. And if you remember that, you'll be in pretty good shape. Oh, and try not to feed? Thanks. Until next time, Failco out!